And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to a special episode of New Earth Tarot. I'm sorry I wasn't able to get to a broadcast yesterday. It's been a very crazy, busy kind of week. I'm just getting everything all prepared for the Etherics launch. You can see the little logo here on my page. So that has really been keeping me busy. So I wasn't able to do a live stream yesterday, but I have some time today. And I wanted to do New Earth Tarot for this Friday. So there will be no New Earth TV live this week, but I'll be coming back next week because things won't be so hectic for next week. So I'll be back for New Earth Tarot Thursday next week and New Earth TV live for Friday next week as well too. And of course, this coming Wednesday is the early bird launch and the debut of Etherics. So I'll be getting to that in just a minute. First and foremost, we're going to go ahead and get into some announcements. Then we're going to get into some Q&A tarot today. So here we go. Beautiful, sacred geometrical clothing to detoxify, rejuvenate, and strengthen the body. Shop now at healingcodeshop.com.
The latest revelation in alternative healing has arrived. The Healing Code Cards, a spiritual technology unlike anything else. Through the power of sacred geometry imbued with pure source energy, physical ailments can become eliminated and detoxified from your body. 36 cards specifically designed to work on the major areas of the body, encouraging natural recovery and increased vitality. Working with the cards are easy, and their healing results are profound. Download our collection of free sample cards so you can experience results for yourself. And don't forget to view our customer testimonials. Our printed Healing Code card deck is available now with shipping available worldwide. Visit our website at healingcodecards.com.
And so, giving some updates in regards to Etherics. It's coming along very, very well. There's going to be two websites that will be part of Etherics. The main website is the information website. So that's where you'll find all the information and content pertaining to the products that are coming for Etherics and the products that are already available. So with the Healing Code cards, they still will be called that for a short time longer. I'm going to be creating a brand new batch of them, and those will be the Etherics cards. And the Etherics cards are going to be coming back onto Amazon. All right, so my goal with the Etherics cards is to get them on a global outreach through Amazon, through the Amazon platform. So I'm basically just getting all the stuff together for that right now. But right now, the Healing Code cards, the batches that I still have, are still available here for purchase. Okay, so that's still available through healingcodecards.com. Come Wednesday, because Wednesday is our debut, January 11th, the healingcodecards.com website is going to integrate its domain name into the new Etherics website. The same thing with healingcodeshop.com. That is also going to integrate and merge directly into the new Etherics website. So I'm just basically putting some last minute touches on the Etherics information website and on the store as well too. Then they'll be ready to go, and everything will be ready to go for Wednesday for the early bird launch. So I'm going to be doing a video, I'm thinking either on Sunday or Monday this week, just a little bit more information about the Etherbed. Okay, so there will be a special video so that you guys can take a look at what the Etherbed is all about. I actually was just doing some more updates with it last night. It is such a powerful technology. Wow. I'm really, really enjoying it. And I can't wait for you guys to enjoy it as well too. So I'm just putting some finishing touches on that as well too. Then I'm going to create this special video that will debut either on Sunday or Monday this coming week. So you guys can get much more insight on the Etherbed, what it's all about, why is it a big deal, how is it going to help you, why is it more powerful than the Healing Code cards. You're going to get all of those answers. So again, look for that special video coming again either this Sunday or this Monday, one of those 2 days. I'm just just making sure I'm kind of tying up all the loose ends here because there's still a lot of work to do. And that's why I've been so busy this week, and I've only been able to do one webcast this week. So I apologize for that, guys, but believe me, when Etherics launches, it's going to be well worth it. I'm also going to be creating, now here's the cool news, guys. Here's great news. I'm going to be giving you guys an Etherbed free sample. What does that mean? Well, basically, when you go onto the new Etherics website when it's ready, you'll be able to go into the samples page. The samples page will have a graphic there. It'll have a symbol that you can print out and it is actually okay to print this out on plain printed paper, okay? So on your common office paper, your inkjet printer, printing it out on an 8.5 by 11 sheet, and what you can do is you can use that and just put that on your chest as you're laying down in bed. And what that free sample image will be is it will have all of the features of the healing mode for the Etherbed so that you guys can try it out before you buy it, okay? You guys are going to have a free sample of the Etherbed just through that symbol, just putting it on your chest, having yourself lay down on it with it on top of you, and you're going to be able to experience the healing mode feature of the Etherbed just by having that printed symbol. Okay, so that's one of the things that you're going to be able to work with. Now, of course, the Etherbed has way more qualities than just that symbol, but this is just kind of a good demonstration. It's a good sample that you guys can use and feel for yourself. Well, this is just the healing mode. This is the healing mode of the bed. Wait till you get into the sleep mode. The sleep mode is even more exciting. So it's giving you a nice little preview, and you can even print out a couple of those different samples, and you can just put it on your body. It might look kind of funny. Now, the interesting thing you guys can do as well is if you have plastic leaflets, just put the sheet in the plastic leaflet and just have a couple of plastic leaflets around your body as well too. So you could have a couple on your chest, you could probably have a couple on your legs, you could even probably put a couple underneath you as well too, and you can experience the healing mode effect of the Etherbed so that you can try it before you buy it, okay? And then you really feel it and you love it for yourself. It's okay, oh my God, I'm going to get this. I'm going to get the Etherbed. Fantastic. And that's basically what I'm going to be doing for you guys. I'm going to be spoiling you guys. And even if you just get, if you just enjoy the samples, if you enjoy the free samples, because there's going to be more free samples to come. And if that's how you really want to work with Etherics, then go for it, right? But nonetheless, you guys are going to get spoiled. So, and then if you really love it, then like I said, the Etherbed will be available here on Wednesday through our early bird launch. And I'm also creating some other new products as well too. So one of them is called the Ether Cloth. Let me see if I can grab it here, guys. I'm going to show you guys the prototype here. Just one second. Okay, so what I'm about to show you guys is just a prototype, because this is not the final look of the Ether Cloth, but this is just giving you a prototype. Okay? This is the Ether Cloth. So basically, what this does, this is very similar to, if you guys are familiar with face yoga, you know, where you're doing face yoga and you're actually basically trying to reverse the age of your face. Well, this does that. That's exactly what this does, right? I've been using it, feeling great. My skin feels a lot more softer when using this. So it basically has two modes on it as well too. It has a healing mode and it has a facial mode, right? So the facial mode is actually working to remove wrinkles. It's helping to clear away toxins within the face. It's clearing away metals in the body as well too. So there's an Ether Cloth that's going to be debuting in February. Okay, the Ether Cloth is going to be debuting in February, and the Ether Yoga Mat is going to be debuting in February as well too. So you're actually going to have a yoga mat where it will actually help to cycle your vitality, right? Your life force energy is going to be flowing through your body a lot more stronger as you do yoga. Or if you're deciding to just do some Shavasana and you want to lay down on the mat will have very similar properties to the Etherbed at the same time. So there's a lot of exciting stuff in store for you guys. And you'll have samples as well too. You'll be able to look at samples with the yoga mat. You can, again, download a symbol. You can probably just put it in the center of your mat if you're doing yoga. And you'll be able to receive some aspects of that benefit as well too. So even if you don't buy right away, you're still going to be able to try a lot of these things. And they're demonstrations. It's kind of like free trials, right? Like demonstrations with the energy. So you can feel what it's like for yourself and say, oh my God, this feels really good. Now I'll get the yoga mat. Oh my God, this feels really good. Now I'm going to get the Ether Cloth. Oh my God, this feels really good. Now I'm going to get the Etherbed. Or if you just want to enjoy the samples, then just enjoy the samples, right? Nonetheless, free stuff is coming for you guys, and the investments in these things are going to be well worth it, okay? So Wednesday this week, early bird launch of Etherics. It's going to be awesome, so stay tuned for that. Okay, and of course, everything on my YouTube channel is backed up onto Odyssey, so you can find the link in the video description, odyssey.com/@newearthteachings. You can check that out and follow along there if you like. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead now and get started with our webcast today, where we're going to be looking into your questions. So please make sure, guys, that your questions are semi-personal or general in nature. Excuse me. Making sure that your questions are semi-personal or general in nature. Just no personal questions, please. That's for private sessions, and that's just appreciated. Just a reminder, guys, that even though I'm still on a break right now, I'm still doing distance healing sessions. Okay, so you can always check that out on newearthteachings.com. Distance healing sessions as well too. And I'll be getting back into sessions. I got quite a bit of bookings right now, but I'll be getting back to that as I start off in mid-January. And just getting Etherics ready to go here, ready to rock and roll. All right, so let's go into the new window here. There we go. And welcome everybody. Good to see everybody here today. Thank you again for this special day for our New Earth Tarot. So I'm just going to go through the chat. Now again, if you guys have a priority question, you can feel free to leave a donation in the super chat. Okay, and I will get to your question. Some people have said, "Oh, Brad, I've left donations before, but you didn't get around to me." Unfortunately, sometimes I don't see it in the live chat because I scroll through the list and see if I can find any super chat donations. Sometimes those are hidden. I'm not too sure why YouTube does that. So I'm going up and down the list trying to find them and doing what I can to grab the ones that are present. So if I miss you, then what I want you to do is I want you just to email me right after the broadcast and say, "Brad, I left you a super chat donation, but you didn't get around to my question. Here's the question I have for you," and I'll be happy to answer it to you through email if I don't get around to you. Okay? So if I miss you by happenstance, don't worry. Just go on to newearthteachings.com, go onto the contact page, let me know you donated, let me know your question, and then I'll get back to you by email. Okay? So I'll do what I can to make it up to you. All right, let's go ahead and start at the top of the chat, and we're going to work our way down. Like I said, if you guys have a donation, you can put that in, and I'll get right to your question with donations. Okay, so this one here is from Samarjeet Singh. He asks, "Hey Brad, can you ask the tarot about the US dollar, USDT, the crypto stable coin, if it would keep its peg with the US dollar or lose it and become unstable?" Okay, so let's take a look at that. I think what we're going to do is we're going to do a big reading on this one. Okay, let me just make sure I got enough desk room here. We'll do a big reading on this. This is what I call the Circle of 9 spread. So it involves 9 cards, kind of in the form of a circle. And I can look at the recent past of it, the present with it, the near future with it, its general outcome, general advice, and the end result with this. Okay, and I think that would be a good question because cryptocurrency is a big question I get quite frequently. So I think we'll look into that today through this particular type of spread. So let's take a look at the life of the crypto stable coin. If it will keep its peg with the US dollar, or will it lose it and become unstable? Okay, so that's what we'll look into here through the reading. Let's see. Okay. Well, the recent past is that this is something, again, kind of born out of thin air, right? I don't feel like it has any particular type of solidity or weight to it, right? The idea of a stable coin in that sense feels like it was something just kind of conjured up, right? Just something that doesn't really have any mass to it. It feels just very, very airy in that way. So it feels, again, kind of illusionary, really doesn't have a lot of value to it. And like I said, it's just basically trying to get itself out to the people so that the people give it value. The usability of this coin is what gives it value in that particular way. So that's representing the recent past. It needs the people for it to have any particular type of value whatsoever. Okay. Present moment is it feels like this may be something that has now been taken over by the counter forces. Okay, I feel like in the beginning, this was probably a Dark Cabal plan, that this may have represented the idea of something of the Dark Cabal, maybe trying to introduce it as their own type of digital currency. Okay, but it feels like the counter forces are taking a hold of it now, right? And may start to use this to their own means. Okay, so the lesson that's going to come from this in that sense is that this may be something that could be used more in the near future, but it feels like it's going to be much more of a counterforce initiative and not Dark Cabal as it once was. Okay, so it feels like it started off in the plans of the Dark Cabal. It feels like the counterforces have been able to acquire it and now may start to use it in their own means, perhaps in regards to the US dollar. Okay, so you're very correct with that, Samar, that the idea of the crypto stablecoin If it will keep its peg with the US dollar presently, that's what it looks like. That's the present moment. Okay, let's take a look at the near future. Okay, so near future looks like it's going to maintain its momentum. Okay, so I think it's not really going anywhere. I think it's still going to, I don't know if it's making leaps and bounds, but I don't feel like it's going anywhere at the same time. Okay, so I feel like it's going to continue its momentum forward. I feel like there's going to be some battling back and forth with it in that sense, determining its value, determining if it is something that we are still wanting to actually get behind, right? And people are still going to be able to use it, right? So they call it a stable coin. And I think it's kind of in a battle in regards to its own stability. So it feels like it is going to maintain itself for a little bit of time, okay? So the general outlook is that this may be something that could actually be quite positive, okay? I feel like it's being used for much more counterforce purposes. So something of much more of a higher level in that way. So it may be something in that way. I think what they're doing is they're basically taking a lot of the old Cabal plans and turning them on their head and actually using these things to turn against them. So that's the kind of feeling I'm getting. So this is actually a really good thing. The general advice of this is saying, well, here's a coin right here. So this is actually a coin I think that has switched gears. I think it's switched its alignment around. And I feel like it's going to be used for a much more positive means in that way. The end result, okay, I think that this does have big plans. There are big plans for this coin down the road, okay? The stable coin. So I think it may cement itself. I think it may peg itself into the US dollar. It may be something in that sense that may get some head of steam down the road. I think in the near future, it's still kind of building up a head of steam. Like I said, this is the momentum. And like I said, I think they're trying to fight to make this thing a big kind of currency to come. So like I said, guys, there's financial systems that are in the works right now, right? We talk about the quantum financial system. We talk about digital currency, cryptocurrency in that sense, and these are some of the idea, but it's all under one big umbrella that is looking to be revealed right now. And I think they're doing this as a means to abolish the fiat currency in the best way that they can. So it looks like it's going to be going places. So I don't think this is going to be out of the picture anytime soon. I don't think it's going to become unstable, right? I feel like, again, it's switched hands. It was originally in something in the Dark Cabal's favor, because this is basically what this card is telling me. Feels like it was in some shady hands, right? But not anymore. I feel like it's been acquired by the counterforces, and they're going to use it. And like I said, the benefit that comes out of this general advice for it is that it's going to be used for good. It's going to have a goodness behind it altogether. All right? So Samarjit Singh, thank you very much for your question. All right, we have a donation here from Rhonda. So Rhonda, thank you very much for your donation. And Rhonda asks, will the White Hats either arrest Trudeau in public or force him to resign this year? Well, before I get into that, Rhonda, the important thing we have to remember is that that is not Trudeau that you're seeing on screen. Okay, that's not him. The real Trudeau has basically left. He's left this world. Right? He's already been disembodied. Right? He's already left the Earth plane, that we can say. What you're seeing is an avatar. Okay, so you're seeing a doppelganger. You're seeing an avatar. So he really isn't even Castro in that way. Okay, he's just playing a role. He's just no more different than an actor and a stagehand in that sense, being fed a script and being told to say certain things. Okay, so he's not the genuine person at all. But we will look at the idea of what is ahead for the Trudeau or Castro avatar. What's ahead for him, where things are going. We'll do another Circle of Nine reading for that. Okay, because this is again another big popular question I get about Castro, about castor oil. Maybe I'll start calling that. Let's take a look at castor oil and see what's happening there. So let's take a look and see what is ahead for Trudeau. Is he going to be arrested in public or forced to resign this year? What's ahead for him? We'll kind of just ask what is ahead for him in regards to the Trudeau avatar. Okay, so basically this is the recent past. It's a very interesting card that I'm being pulled here in that sense, because this really doesn't show anything in regards to a Dark Cabal situation regarding him. I think he's basically, I'm not too sure if his avatar is being seized and they're basically just playing a script with this guy and he's just following a script, basically from what I'm seeing here. I'm not really seeing any cards here regarding the recent past pertaining to him being under any form of Dark Cabal control anymore. So I think he's basically just reading Counterforce scripts. I think that there's just this narrative that's playing out right now. And like I said, I feel that there's a lot more of a goal behind the common narrative that we get. People are sick and tired of him. They want him to step down. But I think in that sense, they may have seized this avatar. And they may just be getting him to spew some nonsense to basically bury himself. It's kind of what their strategy is here. Okay, this again representing the recent past. It's not happening right now, but I think this has been the strategy for about the last 3 to 4 months, is that he's basically just trying to make an ass of himself, to bury himself in that particular way. Okay, but really from what I'm getting through the cards here, and even just through intuition, he doesn't really have any stroke or say of power. He's nothing but a figurehead. Okay, so there's still just a lot of mixtures of scripts that are going back and forth. We really can't figure out the behind the scenes narrative, guys. It's so convoluted. It's so contradictory. It's so complex. It's so controversial. We can't really figure out the narrative. Because like I said, it's like two people at a chessboard playing a chess game, right? They're against each other, but it's like they're working with each other at the same time. It makes absolutely no logical sense at all. And I can't explain it to you guys. I can't. I don't think anybody can explain. Why is this narrative happen? Brad, is this real? What I can say is it's not real. None of it's real at all. Everything that you see in these politicians, everything that you see on the television, them going on the podium and they're saying these scripted speeches, none of it's real. None of it is real at all. It's all acting. It's all scripts. It's all screenplays. It's all just a big, gigantic melodrama. None of it makes any sense at all. There's no logic behind it at all. I can't tell you guys that it's logical and that it's real, and like it's not. It's all just a stage play. It's all just garbage. That's what it is, right? And like I said, guys, that stuff is for the sleepers. Okay, if you guys are way past that, you don't need to concern about that, because think about it. Even if the idea of Castro was for him to be taken away, but the narrative still needs to play it out, there's still going to be situations that are going to be unfolding with the narrative that's going to unsettle many. Okay? It's not about a certain figurehead being moved out, because somebody's just going to take their place. And it's still going to play out with a narrative. Like I said, do not look for resolve through the idea of the narrative. It's just not going to work. Okay? So the present moment represents the idea that whatever's happening, I think he's burying himself, and he's trying to take himself. They're basically trying to slowly get him to exit stage left. Okay? And that's basically what's happening with this narrative. He's just making a complete fool of himself. And nobody really likes him. But this is no more different than an actor. He just goes on there and he's being booed and hissed. He's like, oh, thank you very much. It's like a professional wrestler who's the heel, the bad guy, right? And they're just going outside and they're wearing a microphone. They're getting booed out of the building. It's, oh, thank you very much. I'm glad you guys love me. We don't love you. You suck, right? It's no more different than watching a professional wrestling show. Okay? It's no more different than going to a theater and you know that the bad guy's on stage and you're booing and hissing him, right? It's all an act. It's all a show. None of it's real. Okay? So whatever's happening right now in regards to him, I'm not seeing any bad cards coming out of this situation pertaining to Castro right now. Okay? Like I said, the real Castro's already had the picture. Whoever this guy is, a local actor that they hired that has some facial similarity or wearing a mask or doing CG or something of that nature. Okay? Not real. Not real, not genuine whatsoever. Okay? So I feel like he's about to exit stage left. Okay? So I feel like his time is coming short pertaining to his point in the narrative. Okay? He's about to be written off script here very soon. Next couple of months. Okay? I feel like he's going to be able to, his entire nature of what he represents in the narrative will be done. Right? So I feel like it's a deal closer here, ready to happen, probably within the next 2 to 3 months. Okay? So usually this is the near future card. So usually the near future card goes anywhere between 2 months to as long as 6 months. Okay, but it feels kind of more of a 2 or 3 month thing for me. Don't hang your hat on that, but that's basically what I'm feeling. It feels like his time in the story is about to be written out here very soon. Okay. So, what does this represent? What is the general outlook of this? Well, this is representing that, again, he was working with the Cabal. This is all part of an avatar, right? If we're looking at the original Trudeau, okay, not the avatar. The original Trudeau was working with the Cabal. I mean, that's pretty obvious, right? But he's been nothing but a puppet. He's been nothing but a stagehand. He's been nothing but just an actor, even when he was alive, even when it was the original him. Just going out there, being handled, and being told exactly what to say. He had no particular form of will of his own, and he was basically just playing a part, right? So this is going to represent the opportunity for an old leader to leave the forum and a new leader to come together. And I think what's happening is there's just a greater exposure of the World Economic Forum, and that needs to play a role to which he's involved with. So this is why he's still written into that narrative, right? A lot of it is World Economic Forum. And as that starts to collapse, he collapses as well too, right? So I think that's basically him about to exit stage left and be written out of the narrative here very soon. I can't say he's going to be arrested in public. I sincerely doubt that. I think he'll be there one day and then gone the next. And you won't really know what happens to him because this is not the real Trudeau. This is an avatar. Okay? So that's what I'm getting for him altogether through this big reading. So Rhonda, thank you very much for your question. Like I said, guys, none of this narrative is real. Because, I mean, this is why so many people are confused. They say, well, this person said this, and this person said that, saying that this narrative's happening, and then this narrative's happening, this is happening, this is happening. It's not to say that they're wrong. It's that we can't really figure it out. It's such a mess. There's just lines in the sand that are being drawn all over each other. We really cannot say. And like I said, none of this narrative is real. It's all stage. It's all fake. It's all lies. Right? None of it is genuine whatsoever. Okay. This is what I mean, that sometimes these donations get hidden on me. All right, so Rhonda, I got your question. Thank you for that. And this one is from Chris. Chris here has a donation. So Chris says, hi, Brad. I work for a casino. What is the fate of this industry, private or government owned? Will the new financial system move people away from these games, or will people wake up to stop playing them? This is a very unique question, Chris. I have not been asked this before about casinos. Very interesting question. So I think we'll do a 5-card reading on this. We'll take a look into the idea that what is the future of casinos? Let's say, for example, the quantum financial system happens. Will casinos survive? Okay, I think that'll be the good question here. When the quantum financial system, when the new financial system arrives, will casinos survive? So we'll take a look at that. Okay, so what I'm getting here is that when that time happens, this is representing the past as well too, there still is going to be a little bit of stability with casinos. I think casinos may have a new order to themselves. Okay, my feeling is that they're going to be reoriented. Okay, so I don't think they'll be taken out of the picture altogether, but I don't think they're going to be as sleazy, right? I think there will be an opportunity for growth in that sense. I don't think it's going to be run by gangsters or anything of that particular nature, or money grubbers or the greedy in that way. So I think casinos will still come together for the entertainment value of itself, okay? Because I don't see here in this reading about casinos going kaput, right, or being taken off. They're not exiting stage left, okay? But there's going to be some significant changes to them about how they're run, how they're operated. Not the idea for them that their rewards are so astronomical, and they may actually pay for smaller amounts of money, right? So there will still be prizes, there will still be cash prizes, there may be giveaways that they're doing in that sense, but I think there will be some reorientation, and I think, again, this is representing overhaul, okay? So it feels like they would go under new management. It feels like they would go through some different changes in that way. But yeah, for as far as cash prizes go and cash games and maybe giving away certain things, they're still going to do that, okay? So casinos are still going to be around, but there will be some balancing going on with them, okay? It's not going to be the same kind of casinos that we would know, where all these big prizes are astronomical to win, or in that sense, or they may phase that out altogether. So it feels like there's going to be a little bit more of a cleaner versions of casinos that are going to be coming together. But yeah, they're still going to be around. Okay, but I think it's not going to be so dirty and sleazy as it is right now. Okay? So there'll be a lot of cleaning up with it. So that's what I can share about it right now. Maybe for more information, we pretty much have to wait until that time, right? When the new financial systems come together and we see what's happening with the casinos, but it feels like an overhaul is taking place. I think a lot of the gangsters and greedy corporate stooges that have been running a lot of these casinos will be taken out of the picture, and there certainly will be some cleanups behind the scenes, for sure. All right. Casinos have a very controversial past to them. I'm not saying every single one of them is like that, but there are certain casinos in that sense that have actually been used for twisted matters, twisted deeds, and twisted scenarios. Right? Some of them actually do have underground vaults as well too, and there can actually be ceremonies that can be conducted, not in all of them, but in certain ones, especially if we're looking into certain ones in Vegas. Okay, some of them are actually secret societal strongholds. Okay. And they have vaults underground, and they can conduct ceremonies there as well too. With all that greedy energy there, that's a perfect space to do it. Okay. Same thing with football stadiums, guys. Same things with a lot of these big arenas and stadiums in that sense. Do you notice how they're shaped like an eye? And you get all that energy of the people, and you can harness that, and they can conduct rituals in that sense. Just looking in the past, years back, in regards to Super Bowl halftime shows, for example. Okay, those are satanic rituals that they've been doing for a very, very long time. And they have all this people's energy to siphon in on it and bring these things together. Like I'm basically talking about years past. Okay, so that certainly has happened as well too. And casinos be used in the same way. You got greedy, hungry people who want money, want money, want money, want money. It's a great thing to do. And now you can harness all that greedy energy, and you can go into an underground chamber and you can start doing rituals there and start bringing about more and more of this greed. Okay? It's all the whole idea, guys. A lot of these things are hidden in plain sight, but what they do in secrecy is all out in the open, really. All right. Okay, so let's move on. Thank you, Chris, for your question. Let me just check and see if there's another. Okay, there's one here from Salesh. Salesh, thank you for your donation. Salesh says, is the square mile city of London that is contained in London still under the control of the Black Hats? Okay, so the square mile city of London that is contained in London still, is that under the control of the Black Hats? Let's take a look at the city of London square mile. It was, okay, it certainly was, but it certainly is not anymore, okay? So like I said, this is representing a new opportunity. I feel counter forces went in. That was quite some time ago. I don't feel this is a recent past. I feel that this is probably something quite a long time ago. I think that there was an infiltration that was going on there, and the Dark Cabal have been forced out of that area, okay? It's being cleaned up, just like the Ukraine that was under a lot of the underground pertaining to the control of the Cabal is being cleaned up. The square mile has also been cleaned out. And there is a lot of purging going on in the square mile. There's a lot of filth, a lot of corruption that was certainly in that area, but a lot of it is being weeded out. Okay? And I feel like it's still actually being weeded out right now. I think it's still in progress. Okay? But it's moving in a very positive direction. All right? It's being taken over and it's being moved in a very, very positive and strong direction, but a lot of action was needed to bring it into that level. So through the action that's needed, there's a sanitation going on. There's a transformation. There's a higher level of counterforce activity that's taking place there. And it's certainly going to be reinstituted. It's going to be reoriented. It's going to be reprocessed. Okay? And so it could be, in that sense, a counterforce stronghold in its place. Okay? So you're right, Salesh. In the past, it certainly was a stronghold for Dark Cabal activity, but not anymore. It's completely taken out now. And it looks like it's now under counterforce jurisdiction, and it's going to be completely reseeded with the idea of the seeds of the counterforces. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of political change, especially in the UK. The UK is like the hub right now for major counterforce activity, new transformations taking place in the UK, and that's the good place you want to fortify. You want to fortify the United Kingdom if you're counterforce. And that's exactly what's happening right now, because that's kind of been like the center of the world for a very, very long time. If you fortify that in counter-force activity, the rest of everything else is like the stack of dominoes that are going to fall. Okay, so that's exactly what's taking place right now. Thank you, Sailesh, for your question. All right, so those are the donation questions. Now I'll just go back to the list here and see what we got. Okay. Okay, here's a question here from Mary. Mary Gilling, I believe. Mary says, "Hi Brad, is Prince Harry working with the counterforces to bring down the royals?" Okay, so let's take a look at that. I think I'll do another Circle of Nine spread for that. We'll take a look at that with Prince Harry. What is his orientation? What is his role? What is he up to? Is he actually helping to take down the royals? Is that his intention right now? Is that what he's being assigned to do? So let's take a look at that. I would say most definitely. Most definitely. He is a hired guy for the counterforces. Okay? It's not even the real Prince Harry, guys. That is not the real Prince Harry. Okay? This is a doppelganger, but it's a doppelganger on a positive side. The real Prince Harry is not here anymore. Okay? So whoever that person is, it's a stagehand. Okay? It's a doppelganger, it's an avatar. You'd basically refer to it as the Prince Harry avatar. Whoever the real Prince Harry is, I feel like he's not here anymore. This is kind of confirming with this. Means there's been a switch. There's been a change. Okay, he's not the real Prince Harry. Okay? But he is someone who's working with the counterforces, who's basically been kind of, you could say like a mole or an agent, and he's going in and he looks the part, and he's portraying this. Okay, so very much that's the role he's playing. Okay. He is certainly trying to clean house. Okay, house is being cleaned right now. I mean, I think he's basically exploiting a lot of the old foul dealings with the royals altogether. So as you're talking about Mary, is he working with the counterforces to bring down the royals? The royals have basically already been brought down. I feel like he's also moving into a certain position of power, because I think they're going to probably set him up to be the next royal figure. Right? It's not going to be Charles. Okay. And I feel like they're setting him up to play the part in that way. So I'm not too sure if Prince Charles is going to be exiting stage left here very soon as well too. Feels like he might be. Okay. So a lot of confusion. There still needs to be a lot of loose ends that need to be tied up, right? So I think there's still the idea of the authority of quote unquote power relating to the royals. And I think there's still a lot of figuring out that's taking place. But I feel like he's moving in this direction to be set up to be like the king, you could say. But again, that's still just a figurehead thing. That's still just the narrative, right? So he's battling, right? So there's going to be some opposition that he's facing. And like I said, I feel like there's a new narrative that's looking to be spun here relating to Prince Harry as well too, or the Prince Harry avatar, to come forward and basically just do an exposure to basically bring down a lot of these things. And I think he's being groomed and educated behind the scenes for his role. And I feel like he's going to be the guy who may go up into the higher seat, so to speak. Okay, so he's certainly being groomed. This is a very good thing. Okay, this is the idea of the general outlook. Okay, general outlook is that he is certainly being groomed to be put into a new position of authority. Okay, but it's not the real Prince Harry whatsoever. This is the idea of the general advice. He has a lot on his shoulders. So whatever's happening with him behind the scenes, whatever he's facing, there's a lot of opposition being brought forward with him. But the end result here, okay, I feel like there's probably going to be some shifts here. I think there's the whole idea of this whole monarchy that was meant to try and do some form of dominating agenda is not going to happen. I feel like new things are going to be coming together. I think it's going to be under a lot of extreme stress and a lot of extreme strain. So I feel like this guy maybe has some bullseyes on him as well too. That's not too flattering, but I feel overall it looks like this is something of a narrative, another narrative, right? Another line drawn in the sand of what they're trying to do, is to basically bring him in as this particular avatar who is working with the counterforces to bring down the royals. So to answer your question, Mary, most definitely yes. Okay, you're right on the mark with that. All right, so that's what I got for Prince Harry. Some good questions here today, guys. It's really good. Like I said, guys, I don't really care too much about these situations, right? I've talked about it before, right? Looking at all these situations, it's fun to look at, really. But I really don't care about them. I care about you guys. And when you guys are asking me these questions, I'm happy to answer them. But I just don't get caught up in them, right? It's no more different saying, hey, Brad, did you watch this soap opera last night? Remember what happened in the middle part of the show when this happened? Oh, yeah, that was good. That was good. And then we just have a talk about that. We have a coffee. We give each other a hug, and we go on our way. Well, that's exactly how I see all these things, right? We're just talking about last night's drama. We talked about last night's TV show. Oh, yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, okay. All right, you have a good day. See you later. That's really how I see it. Just things that we're discussing that you can let go at the same time you're talking about it. All right? It's you guys who I care about, and that's why I'm doing this for you. Okay? So let's go down the list here and see what is next. Okay. This is actually an Etherbed question from NP. I guess I'll answer it quickly because I'm going to have more information for you guys here later in the week, Sunday, Monday. NP just asked, hi Brad, the bed sheets have summer or winter variations, or can we just put another sheet above in the winter? Well, again, as I'll talk about on Sunday and Monday, you'll be able to put extra covers over the blankets. The most important thing, guys, is that you have 4 components to the bedding sheet for the Etherbed. Okay, you have 2 pillowcases, you have a bed sheet, and you have a duvet cover. Okay, I'm also working to create a comforter or a quilt as well too, as an extra that you can purchase as well too. That'll probably be rolling out in February. Right? But as long as you're making physical contact with those things, you're good. Okay. So if you have a flexible bed sheet underneath, perfect. That's fine. Okay. Just put the Etherbed bed sheet over it. Okay. And if you have the duvet cover, okay, wear that. Right. Doesn't matter if the symbols are facing outwards or facing towards you. Either's fine. Okay. But just have the duvet cover over you. Okay. Now I have a quilt and a comforter. Great. Put that over you. Okay. Your pillowcase of the Etherbed, is it touching the back of your head when you're laying down? Because that's priority. Okay. You want to make sure you're just making physical contact with the components of the bed. Okay. I can't emphasize that enough. I get all kinds of technical questions, guys. This is a bed. This is a bed sheet, right? This is an Etherbed. This is a bedding kit. Okay, it's not complicated. You can put other things underneath, right? If you have another pillowcase and you want to put that one underneath, and then you put the Etherbed overhead, that's fine. I mean, guys, let's not make this into a big technicality. The important thing is that you're just making physical contact with the sheets provided. Okay, that's the most important thing. Other than that, it's fine. Summer and winter variations. Well, there's basically just one universal bed sheet right now. Okay, I'm basically going through the supplier, and like I said, that's the style of bed sheet that they have. Okay, if I find a better supplier and they have something even better, then I'll go with them. But I've been very, very thorough in looking for companies that have bed sheets, the bedding kits, and these guys that I'm going with are the best one. There's no other ones that have the bedding kits like they do. So that's why I'm going for them. Okay, something better turns up, I'll let you know. But it's really just one style. There'll be different patterns on the sheets. So there'll be a blue one, there'll be a gold one, there'll be a pink one. And I'm also going to be making a version 2 down the road as well too. But that's about it, right? The material will still be the same. Okay? Thank you, NP, for your question. Let's go ahead and move on. Okay, like I said, I'll be explaining all this Sunday, Monday when I get the new video up. Okay? So, taking a look down the list here. Okay, this one here is from Dana. Dana says, is it possible to check what the universe wants to say when the mortgage interests in Canada will drop? Okay. Well, how about we simplify the question a little bit more? Let's take the universe out of it. Okay. Let's just take a look at the idea of saying, can we check in regards to when mortgage interests in Canada will drop? Okay, let's take a look at that. We'll make it less confusing. Remember, guys, it's not the universe that tells you these things, okay? The universe is nothing but a construct. It's spirit. It's the intelligence behind the universe. That is the true intelligence that is bringing everything together. The universe is nothing more than a mechanical gear. Okay, it's just spinning its gears in that way based upon consciousness. Okay, consciousness is the intelligence, and that is what's deciding everything. It is the grand, perfect consciousness that decides everything that we can call spirit, that we can call God, that we can call the self, right? It's not the universe. A lot of people say, the universe told me to do this. Guys, the universe isn't telling you to do anything. It doesn't work that way. It's a construct. It's a set of gears, right? That's the nature of it. It's a machine. It's a technology. It's not the idea of it being the determiner. It has a particular type of body, you could say, but it's much more of a construct in that way. It's us as the living intelligence that is making the universe what it is. Okay, so that's an important thing we have to remember. But anyways, going to your question, so is it possible to check on the mortgage interest in Canada and when they will drop? So let's see. So let's do a scan maybe up to about 6 months ahead and see what's happening with that. It feels like there needs to be some more shake-up. Okay, there needs to be some more shake-up. There needs to be the idea of something that's turning this wheel, that is going to enable the idea of the mortgage rates to plummet. Okay, so that could represent the idea of a crash. Okay, a market crash, and that basically needs to happen. Okay, so then that is going to set the stage. That is going to enable the gear to turn to bring about some type of peace. Okay. So it's possible that we could see maybe in the next 6 months to 9 months, maybe. It could even be longer than that. But I would say it would take at least 6 months ahead. And I can't even guarantee that that'll be the time. But basically in the next 6 months at least, right? Or maybe 9 months, or maybe a year, that there needs to be some type of stock market crash. There needs to be some sort of crash in the market, that something is really, really shaking things up really badly. And then that would therefore give the opportunity for the market to reset itself and maybe start at a lower period, right? So that's basically what needs to happen first. There needs to be some type of engineered event that will crash the market. As that gets crashed, it's able to resettle itself and then move into lower rates, okay? But that's not happening anytime soon. Like I said, it could be at least 6 months, at least. It could be even longer than that. But it's still gonna be a while yet before we see that come together. But that's what it would need to take, a big crash, okay? Some people have been predicting the idea of big stock market crashes, right, from astrologers, numerologists, psychics, intuitives, channels, etc. About big crashes looking to happen. I would agree with that. There are. But like I said, it's like controlled demolition. Okay, it's all engineered. Anytime there's crashes, guys, they're all engineered. They're just completely artificial engineered crashes that need to happen. I think maybe there'll be a couple of them in line for 2023, the year of reset. Okay? So yes, we'll see how things go in the next few months. Not just for Canada, but I would say for the whole world. That's really what I'm looking at. I'm not just looking at Canada. This is the United States. This is overseas. This is all over. Okay, a big worldwide market crash pertaining to that, to where interest rates would be lowered. Okay, thank you, Dana. I know we want a lot of these things happening very quickly, guys. Unfortunately, it's not up to us. Okay, we have to just let the flow happen as it needs to. Not trying to control everything, just letting things happen as they need to. In the meantime, work on yourself, surrender, move yourself into greater heights. And when the time is right, when the stars align, these things will come together. All right. So this is why it's really good to look into astrology. In astrology, you're able to see these things that are coming, right? There's a woman named Joni Petrie, okay, on YouTube. I would suggest you guys watch a lot of her videos. She's quite good. Okay, and she looks into Vedic astrology, which makes her even better. Okay, look into her stuff. She gives some really good forecasts, because I look into these things and I get the same thing as well too. So it's kind of like Janine, how Janine and I get similarities, right? I look into Joni Petrie's work, right, with her Vedic astrology background, and I'm nodding my head and say, yep, that's exactly what I'm getting as well too. So again, look into those. That can really help you, especially through astrological imprinting. All right, let's go down the list a bit more. Well, here's a question here about the ether cloth. This is from Lori. So this is the ether cloth right here. Like I said, guys, it's just a prototype. Okay, it's not going to be the final design of what it'll look like. But, sorry, what was the question? Okay, yeah, Lori says, will the ether cloth help with hair growth? Yes. Okay. So not on the facial mode, though. You want to do it on the healing mode. Okay, the Etherbed will also help with hair growth. Okay. So basically all we're doing is we're just bringing blood flow to the scalp. We're repairing the hair follicles. We're increasing the blood flow. And you can even do that with the energy deck, guys. Okay, in the meantime, you can work with the energy deck. So with the energy deck, do you remember those two cards I've talked about that I really highly recommend you work with? Okay, what are they? Positive polarity collector, negative polarity receiver. Put the positive polarity card on your solar plexus. Put the negative card up here on your head. And just keep it there. Keep it there for as long as you want to. And that is going to stimulate the prana to move up to the head. But it does it in a very subtle way. Okay, it's not like you're just going to get a big gigantic rush to the head. Okay, this is subtle energy. So as it moves its way up the scalp, it's very subtle. It's a very nice, subtle, tingling kind of sensation you're getting at the top of the head. And if we keep doing that over time, your hair follicles are going to get re-stimulated because blood flow is going up there. Okay, so again, where the prana is being commanded to go, the blood flow goes there as well too. Okay, the prana is kind of like it's like the jet stream, right? It's what's bringing everything with it. Okay, we could also look at it as the current. Okay, the current is taking the waters up to the top of the head. That's what's being commanded. Okay, and it's very, very subtle. It's very delicate. It's very gentle. It's not an atom bomb of explosion of intensity. As soon as you put that card in your head, that wouldn't work, right? We can't do that, guys. So it's not about the idea of you just blitzing out of your mind as soon as you use the cards. Okay, they're very, very subtle, right? So when you're working with the cards, whether you're working with your liver, whether you're working with your intestines, whatever it may be, you're working with those two cards. It's subtle healing. The entire healing code card phenomena is subtle healing. It's not a blast of explosion. Oh my God, I'm all of a sudden better. Okay, it's going to take some time. Now, some people can feel really strong effects after they work with it for a few minutes. I had a woman who had really bad asthma, and she was able to heal her asthma overnight. Okay, that's a rare thing, but she was ready, right? It was like Spirit was ready to help her to heal her asthma altogether, and overnight she cured her asthma with the healing code cards. Okay, I can't say that's going to happen to all of you, but this is what happens with all of us. It's very subjective. Okay, it's very personable relating to the healing code cards, but you have to remember that they're alive. They're alive and you can talk to them, right? The intelligence of Spirit exists within the healing code cards. The intelligence of Spirit resides within the Etherbed, okay, the ether cloth, the healing code apparel. It's there as well too. I'm going to be making brand new forms of healing code apparel. I'm going to make it where everybody who wears a shirt can heal people. So let me back up on that. Everybody who wears a healing code apparel, or in this sense the Etherics apparel, will be able to channel their own energies and heal people. It's what's referred to as the transfer function. So that's coming. That's coming in February, which means if you have absolutely no healing background whatsoever, you put on a shirt, you say transfer mode, and a person's right next to you, you put your hands on them. And now the natural excess living prana within yourself will heal that person. And you will not be drained. You won't really feel a thing other than the tingling sensations of your hands. So what I'm attempting to do here, guys, is I'm attempting to create a company where the ability to heal people, where the ability to heal yourselves, where the ability to transform your own home into a healing center is possible. That's my goal. I want the world to heal itself. And we're using these as the medium, as the bridge to do that. And this is just the beginning. There's going to be a lot more stuff that I'm going to be unveiling when it comes to kitchenware, when it comes to how you're eating your food, right? When it comes to decorating your home. All of these things are going to be part of Etherics. Okay? It's about working together with people and getting people to heal themselves, even if they have no background in it. They just say transfer mode, their cousins right in front of them, they're just putting their hands on them, and all of a sudden their living prana is flowing right into that person, and that person is being restored, and that person is not even wearing an etheric shirt. Okay? They have no etheric gear on them whatsoever, but you do. And now you become a power source. The entire intention behind the Etherics technology is that your own living prana is the power source of the material. Okay? So it's all you. It's spirit, it's divine intelligence, it's your living prana that is the power source to all of these material items. And that you can channel these things, like with the apparel that I'm going to be creating, where you can actually heal other people, or just basically facilitate healing. It's the living prana, of course, it's the living intelligence that heals them, but you're being the facilitator for that. Okay? And just by wearing a shirt, you'll be able to do that. Okay? That's the big intention behind it. Okay? I was telling this to my partner the other day. So this is what I'm going to be doing, and her exact reaction was, wow. She's probably watching right now, so yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be really amazing, and like I said, this is what's really driving me to move into doing this a lot more, helping to heal the planet as best as I can, okay? In the way that we can do it through a medium of a clothing company, of a bedding company, of a cards company, that it will be Etherics. All right? Okay, guys, let's go ahead and move on. So I'm just looking for another question here. I'm trying not to find ones that are too personal. Okay. So again, guys, please just semi-personal or general questions. Okay. Okay. Yeah, some people have injuries. So like I said, that's exactly why I'm creating the ether cloth. It's exactly why I'm creating the ether bed. Guys, when you use the ether bed, you'll know for yourself. You'll see exactly how powerful it is. It's not to say it's going to heal you overnight. It's going to do a lot of things overnight. But as you continue to work with it days, weeks, and months ahead, you're going to see how powerful it is. And a lot of the injuries that you have are going to start disappearing. And you won't even know they've disappeared until you just kind of catch it. Right? It certainly happened with me. Okay. Petra, I've actually already covered stuff about the Ukraine war. Okay, so there's a question here from Petra about what about the Ukraine war? Will it finish? I've already done a reading on it recently. Okay, it pretty much is all done. It's pretty much all wrapping up right now, and that the idea of the entire cabal that was there, a lot of them are either fled or they've been apprehended. Okay, so I'd say it's about 95% complete right now. I think probably in the next couple of months we'll probably see it 100% complete, but it's pretty much all wrapped up right now. That's what's taking place, and I did a reading on this previously. Okay. Okay, so we got more of a metaphysical question here from Mahale, I believe their name is. Mahale says, is it true that past life connections are not static? Okay, you have to understand that everything that represents past lives, in that sense, well, this is, again, looking into the nature of the mind. You have to understand that if I was to snap my fingers and everything froze right now, just to say that the moment itself, everything pertaining to motion, just froze. Everything within that moment is infinitely available to you. It's not really about past lives. Past lives is more of a convenience to look at it in that way. There is no past, there is no future. Everything is simultaneously coexistent. Everything just exists right now. But even in that way, you're still identifying yourself as an object. You're not an object. Okay? So if you're looking at all these bodies, I could have millions of bodies of other lifetimes, of other perspectives, being on other earths, being in other worlds. In that sense, I got millions of them lined up right here. Okay? I'm not any of those. I'm not any of those particular bodies. I can house into those bodies. I can work with those bodies. I can use those bodies. But none of those bodies define me whatsoever. This body does not define me whatsoever. What I am is simply is. I am that. I am the totality. I am the infinite. Okay? So when you're looking at mind, you have to understand that all mind is, it exists because of perturbations of the ether. Okay? The etheric perturbations, disturbances that are happening through the ether are all caused by thought. Thought creates every body. Thought creates every world. Thought creates every star. Thought creates every galaxy. Thought creates everything that we understand in this material universe. But that's not you. It's nothing but clay. It's nothing but you shaping the sand and making a figurine. I created it out of thought. But creation is not you. It's not the real. Okay? It's something that we can work with. It's something that we can play with. It's something we can examine. It's something we can explore. It's something we can observe, but it's not you. Okay? So every time you're looking at all these different incarnations of yourself, so what? These are the games you're playing. These are the figurines that you have molded through thought. These are nothing but perturbations, disturbances of the ether. That's what they represent. Okay? So we have an infinite amount of those. It's like a sandbox that never runs out of sand. I can make this figurine, I can make this one, this one, this one. And I make 1 billion of them. And I can make another billion. And I can make another trillion. And I can make another quadrillion. I can have an infinite amount of bodies. But none of them are me. They're nothing but creations. And they all exist simultaneously right now because time does not even really exist. No one's really been able to prove time. No one's really been able to prove space. Okay? These are all perturbations of the ether to put a veil over everything to make it feel like these things do exist. Right? This is, again, what we often refer to as Maya, what we refer to as the mind. So the mind, again, is like that hologram that can create anything. It's that infinite sandbox that can create all these figurines, that can create worlds, that can create galaxies, that can create universes. All of that can be created because all that is just intelligence perturbing the ether to make these things what they are. But that's not who you are. You are that intelligence. You are consciousness. That's your nature. So it doesn't matter how many bodies you have. It doesn't matter if everything here is simultaneously coexistent. It's all just playthings. Who and what you truly are is timeless, is ageless, is spaceless, right? There is nothing that defines you. Your play toys, right, are not who you are. And that's the important thing to remember, okay? Thank you for your question. All right, let's go down here a little bit more. All right, and guys, I got one spammer on here. I'll take care of him. Okay. All right. Spammers just make themselves too obvious. I think that was probably a bot or something like that. If you guys are reading the chat, you know what I'm talking about. So anyways, let's go ahead and continue. Okay, I got a donation here from Sunflower. Oh, Sunflower, thank you for your donation. Appreciate it. Okay, guys, we're probably going to take 1 or 2 more questions, and we're going to wrap up for today. Grow says, I cannot find those 2 cards. Grow, do you have the energy deck? Okay, it's the Healing Code cards energy deck. Okay. And again, 2 of those cards is the positive polarity collector, negative polarity receiver. They're in there. Okay. That's the energy deck. That's the one you need to find. Okay. They're in there. It's part of the deck. Okay. Okay, here's one from Dare. D-E-R. Okay, you got a donation here from Dare. Hi, Brad. I'm looking for a meditation or method to send love to the world and people I work with. What can you recommend? If you go on to some of the previous New Earth TV live webcasts, I do an earth meditation, okay? And that's a wonderful thing to just send your love out in mass, okay? So I would suggest going back, I think maybe a couple of weeks to, I think, the New Earth TV live about 2 weeks ago. Wherever you see a mass earth meditation, okay? That's the one you want to work with, okay? And just being able to do that mass earth meditation and send your love to everybody, even the people you know and people you don't know, okay? Send it to the entire planet. Don't put limits on yourself when you're sending love. Oh, I'm just going to send it to these group of people. Then you're not really working with love, right? Your love should expand everything. It should touch everything. It should touch all of creation. It should touch the manifest, and it should touch the unmanifest. It needs to touch everything. That's true love, okay? Work with it in that way. So work with the Mass Earth meditation. That would be my recommendation for you. Okay. So So just give me a moment here, guys. I'm just kind of going through this. Okay, here's another one from Martine. Martine, I got your request here. Hi, Brad. Is there going to be a better pension compensation for the elderly soon? Well, that depends on what country you're in. Okay. But I think what we'll look at is we'll look at the United States. I think we'll look at Canada as well, too. Let's say Canada and the United States. Okay. So for Canada and the US, is there a better pension compensation for the elderly soon coming up? So let's take a look at that. Well, I can't say for you guys to hold your breath, okay? I do feel it will happen in time. But right now, like I said, there's just a lot of juggling of different forms pertaining to the financial matters right now. A lot of financial havoc is still taking place as the past card, okay? And we're starting to get out of those waters, okay? We're starting to get out of that. But like I said, I don't think we're completely free to the point where pension is going to majorly skyrocket, okay? A lot of changes need to happen, and I said I don't feel you're going to get it out of a fiat currency system as the way things are right now, right? So if we're looking at the devil monetary system, the fiat in that sense, this is still in the process of being taken down, okay? So this is why I say, guys, don't hold your breath. Relating to that, I mean, my mother is on a pension as well too, so I know how she feels, okay? There are opportunities, there are growths that are going to look to happen here. It's all part of, in that sense, of trying to get these new financial systems up and running. But there needs to be a whole grid that needs to come online for that to happen. And they're still working on that grid, right? So basically the technology is there, everything is there, the software is there. But it's a matter of getting the whole world together to boot up this whole new financial system. And there's some delays in the background, right? There's some complications in the background. There's some kinks in the hose, okay? And this is basically what's taking place. A lot of people are disheartened. They say, I'd like to get much more money from my pension. I'd love to get much more money from my retirement savings. And I completely understand that. Okay. So like I said, I think that 2023 may represent a breakthrough for when we see a new financial system rise. I'm not too sure if it's going to happen in the first half or the last half. I'm not even too sure of what that may look like. It may represent the idea that new cryptocurrency is coming in, and that may replace something. It may look like in the idea of new banknotes coming in that people are starting to notice as well too. I'm not too sure of how it's going to look. There are some banks that people have talked to who said that they are ready for a quantum financial rollout, and some others that say, I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, so it still is a very, very big mixed bag. So as far as the immediate future, the answer to that question would be no. Okay? But down the road, possibly maybe around the later part of 2023, possibly. I can't give you a solid yes on that. There's a possibility. Okay, but in the meantime, guys, this is why I give you guys a lot more of your own inner work to do, because so many people just rely on the outside world. Will I be able to get a pension, all that stuff? Whereas we look into the idea of being completely secure with the nature of money within ourselves, you will never have to worry about the idea of getting a pension, because things are going to be given to you. Okay, it's about the idea, guys. What I'm trying to teach you to do here is to manifest the science of miracles, and that comes through the release ball method, that comes through prana transmission technique, that comes through surrendering, that comes through releasing, because that's what's going to heal all this stuff. I know, because I've done it. I've worked with my students and they're doing it. I've worked with clients and they're doing it. Okay? If we're just relying so much on the external to take care of us, guys, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but you're going to suffer. Okay? You are going to suffer if you live that way. You have to learn to go within yourself, to clean up everything that you are at odds with, and letting yourself be refreshed by surrendering and letting go. And now when you're in that state of quiet, that thought that comes in, that effortless thought, this is what brings about miracles. It's when you get your mind quiet, when you get your body still, and you're just in that space of quiet. And that thought appears. Before you know it, a miracle happens. I'm attempting to teach you guys the science of miracles. Me being able to create Etherics and what it can do is nothing short of miraculous, because Spirit and I work together as one. Okay? If I can do this, you guys can do this too. That's what I keep telling you. There's nothing special about me. Okay? I just know that I'm one with Spirit. You guys have to know that too. When you trust in the nature of who you really are, you're not this body. Like I said, this is just a device, an instrument. It's a fun instrument. It's a nice instrument. I love working with the body. And the mind is fun as well too. I love working with thoughts. But I also know that I'm not those things. And you have to realize that the true nature of who I am is intelligence. It's consciousness. That's who I really am. And when I get behind that, I'm able to make everything happen. Literally. I am learning how to be God. That is why you're here on this earth. You're here to be in union with the divine, union with that divine intelligence, union with that divine consciousness, so that you can do all these things. It's as Jesus said, all these things that I do, you can do too, if you would but believe. And that's coming from one of the greatest masters there is. He's telling you this. So what does it take for you to get out of the rut, out of the externals, and come into yourself and start making yourself into that godliness, making yourself into knowing that I am, right? That I simply am. And that's what frees you from all of the shackles of the external. Because again, if you guys are attached to the external, you are going to suffer. And I can guarantee you that. You have to learn to live inside. And that's why I have all these things on my channel to help you through that. Okay? Just a reminder that I love to give you guys every single week. You know that I love to do that. Okay, guys, we're going to take one more question, then we're going to wrap up for today. Okay. Okay, I'm going to try and not tackle too much Nasera questions, because I've gotten asked about Nasera and Gesera to death for years. Ever since I started all this journey back in 2008, I've been asked Nasera questions since 2008, right? And I didn't know too much about it. I started looking into it and stuff like that. And even since I started channeling, when I was channeling Adronis back in December of 2008, I started doing more channelings with him because people came to me and asked about Nasera. Adronis would basically say in his own words, we are not sensing the idea of what you term as Nasera as your saving grace for your external forms of material needs. Okay? He was saying that all the way back in 2009 through me. Okay? Guys, I have never ever aligned to the idea of a Nasera Gesera. Okay? I know there's a big gigantic internet medium and there's an internet following with that. I know that there's also a big internet following with Flat Earth. I know that there's all these big internet followings, guys. Unfortunately, that's all they are, is their followings, because they're not the truth. That's my perspective, guys. So if you guys keep asking me about Nasera Gesera, I have to keep giving you guys the same answer, guys. I'm not seeing that. Okay? There will be things that will be similar to that, but that's not what's coming about. Prosperity funding, in a way, it's really no more different than a universal basic income. Okay? It's not about you guys getting millions of dollars in the mail through some type of program like that. Okay? You can certainly make millions of dollars, but that needs to come through your own inner manifestations. But about thinking that, oh, okay, Nasera Gesera is here and they just wrote me a check for $3 million and it's in my mail slot. No. Okay? You're deluding yourself if that's what you're thinking. And I'm not trying to come down on you. Okay? I'm not trying to burst your bubble here. But I'm telling you guys, I've looked at Nasera Gesera dozens of times over the years. None of it's real. It's not real in any way. Okay? But you can't take my word for it. You guys have to look at this yourself, right, and experience it. If you want my perspective on it, that's my perspective. You got to stop hanging your hat on Nasera Gesera, because it's nothing but a bunch of garbage. Okay? That's my own perspective. Take it or leave it. It's up to you to discover the answer, but if you ask me, that's my perspective on it, okay? Sometimes I get slammed by people. Oh, Brad, how can you say Nasera Gesera is garbage? Well, guys, I'm sorry. I've looked at it so many times for the past several years. It's never been real. It's never been a real thing, right? It's nothing but an internet following. Nothing more. Okay, so let's go down the list here a bit more. Okay. So I'm going to look for one big last question. One good last question we can end on for today. So I'm just scrolling down to the bottom of the chat now. Okay, I'm not going to end with this question. This is just for Carol. Brad, I'm in New Zealand. Where can I get the healing code cards? healingcodecards.com. Then after January 11th, the Etherics website, which I'll be debuting here very soon, next few days, okay? But for right now, healingcodecards.com. Okay. Okay, I won't end on this question either, but it is a good question. And I think I'm going to end on Jason's question here, but I'm going to start with Alina's. Alina says, Brad, will we be able to transfer healing using the apparel you will sell for healing others who are long distance and we can't touch it close? Yes. You hold a picture in their hand. Okay? So yes, you will be able to send hands-on healing to a person who's right next to you, or if you have a photo of a loved one, you're putting your hands there and you're sending your life force energy. Guys, you have to remember, life force energy is non-local. Okay, it's not a local phenomenon. You guys have never been able to find where prana exists within your body. Okay, everything that represents your living prana, your living life force, is non-localized. Okay, it does not exist within the body at all, but it's here. It's present. It is. Okay, the same thing goes with understanding this. It is thought. It is intention through the mind that connects all things together. Those are the veins, those are the perturbations, those are the ripples that are going through the ether all the time. Thought is what makes that happen. Guys, this is a science you will not be taught in school or college or university because no one really knows this stuff. Okay? That's the kind of funny thing. When you really want to know these things, you go to the great masters, you go to the gurus. Okay? You go to the people who have known this, who have lived by this, who can do these extraordinary things. And I've dedicated my life to doing that. And so I know this because this is the knowledge that's coming through me. When you're looking in the idea of the perturbations of the ether, those are the ripples. Those ripples are thoughts, and thoughts connect all things. So, therefore, looking into the idea of your thinking, your thoughts, being able to send energy to another person, it does not require the idea of them being local. It's all through the thought intention. So if I'm holding a thought of my aunt here in my hand, and I am wearing a shirt, and I activate it and say, okay, transfer mode. And I'm holding her in my hand with her picture, and I'm just feeling her. I'm just feeling her presence, and now that energy is being sent to her at the same time. So this will be thoroughly explained when I get around to making the new ether shirts. Okay? So ether shirts will have a transfer function. And that is where you turn yourself into a healing facilitator. Just by wearing a shirt, just by wearing a hat, just by wearing pants, maybe certain pants that I'm going to be getting out as well too. Any form of ether attire that you're wearing will be able to do that. You're wearing socks. You'll be able to do the transfer with that as well too. Okay? So that's what this is doing. Is it's helping you to become a healer without having any form of education with it. Okay? I'll be showing you exactly what you do through the transfer function, where you can do healing on anybody. Okay? You can do healing on multiple people. Okay? If you have multiple photographs, you have a couple people in front of you, you can do that too. Your life force energy is coming through the bridge of this apparel. It's coming through the bridge of these material items. And that's what I want to spread throughout the world, guys. I want to be able to bring this to everybody around the world so everybody can become a healer, even if they're not educated with it, because very few of us are actually educated in these things. There's very few of us guys who are Reiki healers. There's very few of us who are Qigong practitioners. There's very few of us who are quantum touch specialists. There's very, very few of us. But if you are able to put on a shirt and you're able to touch the symbol and say transfer mode, and now you're able to do the healing just based on the simple instructions I'm giving you, you're doing all that work. And it's very, very simple. You're bringing forward the excess of your life force energy to help restore that person, because it is that prana that is flowing through the entire body that opens up all the channels of the body so the body can naturally heal itself. And that's what you'll be doing just by wearing an apparel item. Okay? That's the idea behind it all. More of that to come. Believe me, I'll be talking about it. I'm going to be opening up an Etherics YouTube channel. Okay? New Earth Teachings YouTube channel will still be here, but I'm going to be opening up a second channel, the Etherics YouTube channel, and I'll be talking about everything there. Okay? So I'm going to probably do a weekly podcast or a weekly webcast with Etherics as well too. Okay? So let's go to Jason's question here to end the webcast today. This is from Jason. Question, will we live to experience the Star Trek age, or will we skip it and just go to 5D directly? How does the 3D and 5D existence will be in practice is still a bit elusive. Please enlighten us. Well, like I said, I have talked about this quite a bit throughout the years in regards to the Star Trek age. We can look into that in that way. Will many of us live to see the Star Trek age? Well, basically, I would say that the Star Trek age is just starting to happen right now. Okay, that's the good news. Now, being able to take it into the point of its peak, where we become a galactic civilization, is still going to take at least a couple of more decades. Okay? I would say that 2050 is really the kind of cornerstone to where that's going to really start happening, right? 2050. And people don't like to hear that. Oh, Brad, I got to wait that long. I mean, come on. You're talking about something that's like about 27 years down the road. I don't even know if I'm going to be on the earth right now. Guys, I don't even know if I'm going to be here either. Who cares? You're still identifying with the body and you're still attaching with the mind. You are infinite. You are eternal. You are all things. You are everyone. You are everything. Oh, yeah. I remember that now. Okay? But in regards to the correspondence and the continuity of where we're going and what we're moving into, guys, you have to finish your physical life here in this body. Okay? Don't worry about fourth density, fifth dimension, all that stuff like that. Okay? That's not how it works. In order for you to go into those particular types of dimensions, this body needs to be taken out of the way. Okay? This body, this one right here, you cannot just roll up into a blanket and go ahead and put it into fourth density. Doesn't work that way. This body is like a fish in the water. Okay? I can't take that fish out of the water through a net and hold it up into the sky and think, okay, this fish can now breathe the air because they have interdimensional advanced DNA settings. No, fish is going to croak. Okay? If you try to take your body, just your raw natural body in this way, and try to put it into fourth density, it won't survive. It'll combust. Because the energy is very, very different in that domain. This body is not built for that. This body has to get out of the way. I'm not saying you guys need to croak. I'm not saying you guys need to drop dead. But I'm saying that if you want to go into that earth, because I've been there, right? You basically leave your body. So you have an astral projection experience. You go into conscious astral projection. You can go into something like yoga nidra. You can go into something like out-of-body experiences, astral projection, etc., lucid dreaming, and you can go there. Okay? I've done it. But in that case, I cannot take this third density body with me. It's not calibrated for that effect. It's not possible. Okay? So unless you have some advanced off-world technology that is able to fundamentally increase the rate of atomic structure within your body so that it is compatible with a fourth density sphere, then you could do that. But we don't have that. Okay? There are off-worlders that do have technology that they can actually strap on you like an apparatus that increases the vibratory rate of your atomic structure. That will enable you in some form, you still have to make a few other adjustments as well too, to therefore function in a fourth density sphere. Okay? We don't have that. So this is why I'm talking about the raw natural body. So it's not about the idea of saying, okay, yep, 2037, 2038, boom, there's a flash of light. Okay, I'm out of here, taking my third density body with me, and I'm going right up to New Earth, baby. Woo! No. Okay? Doesn't work that way. You have to finish your life here. This is where you need to be. This is where you are. This is what needs your attention. When you are therefore concluding this life, then you croak. Now you can go and do whatever the heck you want. Okay? If you want to go off in the astral plane, you want to start looking at the astral earth, you want to start looking at other dimensions, go for it. But here in this body, as long as this body is alive, as long as you are breathing through this body, you have a responsibility here. And you need to stay put until this work is done. Once this work is done, you croak, you go on, you can go anywhere you want. Absolutely. Okay? But that's really how it is. Okay? The astral plane is hundreds of times larger than this one. So this is a tiny little dot in the grand scope of the astral plane. Astral plane is so much larger than this. Okay? This is even just a modified version of the astral plane. That's all this physical reality is. But nonetheless, we're here. We're contracted here, guys. We're meant to stay here to take care of what we need to take care of here. We've come back here because it is an introspective life. Physical reality is introspection. Okay? When you are introspecting yourself, then you go into expansion. You realize these bits and pieces. You realize that there's these obstructions everywhere, and you're taking them out. And now you're expanding. And now you're realizing, oh my God, I am more than this physical body. I am actually everything that exists. I am all of that. I'm even beyond existence. I'm the infinite intelligence that simply is. Yes. And that comes through the microscope. Okay? Physical reality is a microscope-based incarnation. It's a microscope. It's introspection. Okay? It's looking into the contracting of yourself so that you can therefore free up the shackles and now you expand. That's why we're all here, guys. We're not here to go on funky rides in spaceships with our off-worlders and say, hey, let's go do loop-de-loops. Let's go do dimensional shifting in the sky and all that stuff. As fun and as cool as that is, that's not why we're here. And they know more about your contract than you do. Say, we can't do that. We're not just going to snatch you off this planet and have you live a Star Trek life, and even a lot of that science in Star Trek isn't even accurate. Okay? It's nothing like what you would understand in science fiction of how it actually works. Adronis told me that constantly. This is nothing like your Star Trek fantasy. Space doesn't work that way. The interstellar community doesn't work that way. You're not handling yourself with a bunch of Klingons and Romulans, and you have a ship and you have view screens and all this stuff. No. You have to basically understand your connection to oneness. That's the prerequisite to even get off the planet and to start living in an interstellar society. You need to understand how you're one with everything. You need to understand how you're all interconnected with each other. You have to understand the science of miracles, because that's how space works. That's how the intergalactic community works. Many of the members of the intergalactic communities are able to manifest things just like that. They're able to manifest and synchronize themselves with everything, and they're able to bring about these miracles just like that, 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 just like that. We would be so incredibly blown away by how they would live. We wouldn't even know how to relate to them. Okay? And this is the starting point. This is why I'm basically giving you guys these tools, this science of miracles, so that you can start getting an idea about how our cosmic neighbors, our off-worlder family, operate. Because that's how they function. It's nothing to do with them believing in God. It's nothing to do with, in that sense, believing in the one infinite intelligence consciousness on a religious basis. It's the idea that this is natural. I'm working with the mind to orient myself in synchronicity. Synchronicity, miracles, interconnectedness is the prerequisite to moving into an interdimensional society. If you don't have that, you can't do it. I want you to listen to that, very importantly. Okay? If you do not have those prerequisites, you are never going to be able to function in an interdimensional society. It's not possible. You have to have that. That is mandatory. So that's why I'm teaching you guys these things, right? So that you can go within, you start cleaning yourself up. You can't just keep favoring the externals and saying, why are you looking at all these outside things? Why are you getting so emotional about the outside? Because this is exactly what they'll be saying to you. This is what your off-world cousins, your off-world families have been telling you. Like, Joe, why are you doing that? What? You're just getting so upset because there's a certain object here that's broken, and you're just heartbroken because you're a broken object. Why are you so upset over an external thing that is limited? I don't get it. Tell me why you do that. Oh, I don't know. They don't get it. You're getting upset about this person in the conversation. Why aren't you tuning into them to feel what they feel? Oh, I don't know. See, this is where we're still like adolescents, right? We have not reached that maturity to function in an intergalactic community. We're not mature enough to do that yet. You have to get out of all this separate self-consciousness garbage, because that's not going to exist in the interdimensional communities. They are very much living through synchronicity. Synchronicity is their life. They create miracles. They realize they're interconnected with everybody. They're able to align everything together. That's their natural way. That's working with the mind. They work with the mind in harmony. They interconnect with each other. They produce miracles. Guys, that's not a Star Trek future. That's the true galactic community present. Okay? So this is what we have to do. We have to learn about all these things. Like a lot of the things I'm teaching, why do you think I stress to you guys how important this is? Because so many of you want to be there. You want to be in the intergalactic communities, but you have no idea how to function. You guys aren't even going through the mandatory work. Do you guys think that enlightenment is the end of the journey? No, it's the beginning. We are not even really living until you're enlightened. Do you guys know what I mean by you being enlightened? Okay? I'm not talking about the idea of you bursting into a big thing of light. I'm talking about you being a realized being. You realize I'm living from the inside, and everything here is an extension of myself, and that I am true happiness, I am true love, and that I can work with the mind all together when I am quiet, when I am centered, when I am still, and I am able to manifest miracles like that, like that, like that, like that. And that's me living life. That is what a realized being does. And that's the prerequisite to living in an off-world society, to living intergalactically. And no offense, many of us are not even close to being there. Okay? But you can be if you start taking into consideration not only the exercises that I do, but ones that are saying the same things that I am. That's where your education needs to be. And if you're not doing that, then this is your playground. This is what the earth represents. It's a playground, it's a school to helping you get out of this separate self-consciousness stupidity and ignorance, taking the veil off so that you are able to move into such a society. Okay? And if you guys don't believe me, that's fine. You have to see this for yourself. I'm just giving you the perspective that I've been getting for so many years right now. And I've lived my life based upon that perspective. And it's beautiful. Okay? And all of us can do it. We really can. We just have to get all of this old stuff out of the way. That is the falsity of society. It's nothing but slave-inducing programs. Right? How we live, understanding our science, understanding our education, understanding our technology. These are all primitive, Neanderthal-based concepts. None of it's real. None of it holds weight when you go into the intergalactic, right? This is what you have to realize. So that really, in a nutshell, Jason, is what I can tell you about that, okay? I could probably talk to you guys about this for like 2, 3, 4 hours. Could create a big, gigantic presentation on it. Maybe I will down the road, all right? But that's giving you a kind of a big elevator version about what's going on, okay? It's not about other dimensions. It's about you here right now and knowing that you're free, liberating yourself, surrendering, and aligning yourself to everything, making sure that you realize everything that exists is of your own making. And you can therefore shift into everything that you wish to know that you are God. That's the idea. That's the grand realization. That's enlightenment. Okay? Thank you guys for today. Thank you for joining me for this special episode of New Earth Tarot. So again, I will be back next Thursday for another episode of New Earth Tarot, and next Friday for New Earth TV Live as well too. And of course, expect the Etherbed video to happen here either Sunday or Monday this week, and more information on updates pertaining to Etherics as well too. So if you enjoyed these conversations today, and you want me to do more of these kind of conversations, you can always let me know, okay? Talk to me, guys, right? You're always willing to go to my website and go to the contact page. Let me know how you think about all these things I'm sharing with you guys. Please go on to my playlists, okay? Look into release ball method, work with prana transmission technique, work with BCR technique. All of these different things that can help you to move you into that true realization. And that's the enlightenment, is realization. All right? Much love to you all. Om Shanti, 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 Namaskar, and may it be well with you. Goodbye for now. Thank you very much. Newer YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe. And you can check out the websites, newerteachings.com, where you can order a private session, 3 questions by email, EQ method, and a lot more. And you can also check out healingcodecards.com, where you can grab your mind deck, your body deck, and of course the brand new body deck special edition. All of these are available in digital editions as well. And you can also get a shirt just like this through healingcodeshop.com, where you can experience the healing codes in apparel form. So feel free to check out these websites. Thank you so much, and I'll speak to you again in the next video. Be well.